We'll get to that.
I'll give him medicine.
I am annoyed. I really am. Not about the Avs loss, though they did lose, but we'll get into it. Welcome into the Losers Lounge. Still a Toyota Lounge. Still a post-game show for you, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. And, of course, this is the DNVR Avalanche post-game show presented by Bet365. The Avs lose 2-1 in this game to St. Louis. Look, it was a weird matinee game. You would have liked the Avs to capitalize a little bit better on their offensive opportunities. They probably played pretty darn sloppy in this game, too. The Avs lost. They deserve to lose. Fine. I'm all good. We'll talk about it. We'll break all that down for you. But I'm mad. And I want to talk about NHL reffing. And I'm going to take a different approach tonight. Because this is not me wanting to defend the Avs specifically. This is me trying to understand what the point of the NHL rulebook is. Yeah. Okay, refs aren't very good. They're not very consistent. Whatever. Fine. They can be bad at their jobs. I get that. I don't like it. I get it. What I don't understand, the NHL and hockey is a physical game. Injuries are a real concern in this game when you are playing the game. So you make a rule book, which number one objective of the rule book is to reduce injuries, is to protect the players of the game. So why do we sit here night after night after night and referees do not protect the players? Look, you're not allowed to hit a person in the head with their stick. That's why Sam Malinsky got a high sticking call in this game. You're not allowed to kick a puck into the net because it's dangerous to kick a puck into the net because you have blades on your feet. Yeah. I get it. The rules are there to protect the players. So why did Charlie Lindgren get punched in the face and we did not get a penalty call? Why did 2 weeks ago Cale Makar get cross-checked in the face? We didn't get a penalty. We didn't get a fine. We didn't get a suspension. Why, when there is a rule that if a player is significantly injured, you can blow the play dead, did Scott Wedgwood lie on the ice hurt while an opponent was scoring a goal? Why? Year after year after year are the Avalanche one of the most injured teams in the league, and the league won't do anything to protect them?
I mean, you got a point. I mean, as you know, it's rare I talk about refereeing, you know that. But tonight, I agree with you. Did it affect the outcome of the game? Well, you'll never know.
No, the Avs lost.
No, that's not the point.
Different topic. Yeah. I'm mad about this, not the result of the game.
Yeah. Well, here's the way I look at it, okay? For me, MVP of the league, named MacKinnon, whatever. I mean, I'm going to turn this into a joke. Like, I don't want to, but he's back checking on this one. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying he does the right thing. He plays hard on the puck there, sticks down. The guy trips himself. I understand that. I understand things happen quick. You can't see everything. You're in movement. You might not have the clear sight to it. You see that. You think it looks like a trip, but it's not a trip. We all know it wasn't a trip.
Yeah.
All right? So it wasn't a trip. All I'm telling you, because I've been out there, so I'm just explaining to you how it works. Yes, they do see it in the corner of their eye. Yeah, they'll tell you they're not looking at it, but yes, they are looking at it. Yes, the coaching staff or the players will tell the referee. We see MacKinnon yapping at him and everything, but don't worry. At one of the face-offs, somebody went over to him and said, "Hey, you blew that one." Hey, it all happens, but I mean, clearly that was a bad one. So I'm not saying bad calls happen. It does happen. Okay, now I'm not saying two wrongs make a right. I'm saying that now that you blew one, Avs, it's a 1-1 game. Lose momentum, right? Because now they're killing a penalty. They didn't end up scoring on the goal. They scored right after, right? A few shifts after, whatever.
A horrible breakdown by the Avs.
No, that's on a different story. But then you see the guy back checking. One thing when you're young is you have to learn how to control your emotions, especially in playoffs. And those are the types of penalties on Lindgren there that should have been called. That could be costly for a team when you don't know how to control your emotions. So the Blues guy, was it Bolduc? It's Bolduc, right?
Yeah. The first power play goal?
No, that hit Lindgren.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bolduc, right?
I think
Anyway,
so, yeah.
I think so. All right, anyway. He's back checking. He gets over aggressive on his back check. He wants to finish his check because he knows he's close to the bench and he's going to go change and he's all hyped up and he's excited and, and then he does leave his feet and, you know what I mean? And then forearm shiver, like, buddy, it's a roughing penalty. It's a charging penalty. I'm not telling you the Avs would have scored on their power play. I'm saying, but for me right there, the referee, that's not making two wrongs. That's a right there. So if you're going to blow the first one, you better be sharp after because you can't blow two in a row. But right there, there's no excuse that it happens fast and things happen quick and you don't really see everything. There's one puck carrier. He's going through the neutral zone. He's by himself. And the guy does that. I mean, you can't miss that. It's not like I didn't see it, I missed it. So it's a blown call again. So, again, would that affect the outcome of the game? We don't know. Who knows? We'll never know. But it is frustrating. I agree with you because that's a penalty in any league. Where the other one's not even a penalty. But I'm saying, so that kind of makes a difference. We'll never know if they would have scored. That's not why the Avalanche lost. We're just talking about this for a few minutes here in the first segment about how tough refereeing can be. And in playoffs, if that's how it is, that's tough. That's tough.
My point is, do you want your best players to be protected in this league? Do you want your best players to play best on blessed? You should. I think you should want that. But right now, the message you are continually sending the Colorado Avalanche is, hey, hit people in the head. You might get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, that was poor officiating tonight. And again, it just was.
Reffing has been bad forever, and it's not necessarily Avs biased. They're bad for everyone. My problem is, I don't want players to get hurt. I'm Avs side of it, way tired, unbelievably tired over the last 3 years of how injured the Avs have been. And most of those injuries are not the ref's fault. So when you're also watching players involved in dangerous plays and the refs actively ignore them, come on, do your job. Do your job. That's what I'm asking of the NHL referees, is to do your job. We know the Department of Player Safety won't do it because they suck too. I'm sick of it.
Tell us how you feel.
I'm sick of it, man. Anyway,
all right.
Had to get that out. The actual game, it is what it is. It was a matinee game. The Avs were pretty sloppy for a majority of the game, even in the first and second periods, where I think those were better periods for the Avs than the third. There was still a lot of sloppiness in there. Avs were just a hair off offensively tonight. A couple of posts hit. I think Makar in particular, the targeting was just not working. His shots were missing quite a bit tonight. They weren't quite able to muster the high danger. I know you have a lot of respect for the way St. Louis played this game. Was this St. Louis limiting the opportunities, or was it the Avs failing to capitalize on them?
Go back to our pregame, right? Score first. They didn't. So what does that do? Then you're chasing the game, right? And I don't want to hear, it does make a difference. Now, key number 2, match the intensity, match the work ethic. Yep. For me, I'm not saying the Avalanche didn't work. It was a very physical game. There was some good hits on both sides, you know what I mean? Forget about that play in the third. I'm talking about there was some good hits. There was some good forechecking. But to say that the Avalanche won the hardest working team of the two on that department, I think I'd be biased to say that. For me, I saw, I sent that thing on Twitter after the first and second. I saw a team selling out every time in front of the net and coming back. I mean, the effort was there for the Avalanche, but the effort was bigger on the St. Louis side of things.
I would agree.
And there's a reason those two teams are hot in the NHL right now. And there's a reason why St. Louis is believing they're not losing. That's a big game they won. That's a big game on Avalanche territory. Tied 1-1 going into the third. Forget about the refereeing. We all know they were given a power play opportunity in the first. They scored. They executed.
Yep.
They nailed it. They took advantage of a gift. I'm not blaming Jack. I'm saying puck goes in the stands. What do I want to tell you? Puck went in the stands. It's a bad penalty. It's a dumb penalty. It's just bad luck. But it's called a silver platter, and you take advantage of it. And then we'll talk about it. The second one, it's a freebie by the Avalanche, and they take advantage of it. That's how you go 13 wins in 14 games, whatever it is. That's what the Avalanche do. They make teams pay when they make little mistakes. Tonight, St. Louis Blues, every time the Avalanche made that mistake, boom, they made it play. They paid. They earned it. They worked hard. And again, they've been playing playoff hockey for a few months now. It showed tonight. That was a playoff team, and that's a playoff mentality that they had. And it's a fine line between winning and losing. And tonight, the Avalanche have been great. They're awesome. We're just talking about tonight, this afternoon. Give the edge to the St. Louis Blues because they did win, but they gave them the edge. The playoff mentality was stronger on the St. Louis side of things than the Avalanche side of things.
Yeah, I have no argument with that. Again, Avs lost the game. There's a very good argument that they deserve to lose the game. They did lose, and it is what it is. St. Louis outworked them at significant portions of this game, and again, Avs didn't finish. Fine.
It ran out of time at the end. You can tell Bennington was looking at the sky, and he's like, oh, boy, he was dying. He's like, okay, let's go shower because I'm dying.
Felt close at the end there, but, you can't wait for the last 2 minutes of the game to capitalize, right?
And then what's key number 3? Execution. They didn't execute there.
Yep.
They were a little bit off the whole night. Didn't execute the last couple minutes. There's a reason we talk about keys before the game.
Yep. That is ultimately the difference. You said it. St. Louis capitalized on their opportunities. The Avs did not. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Avs played terribly.
No.
For the record.
No.
Their top guys did a lot of things right, even if the finishing wasn't quite there. You saw the Avs doing the right things and getting to the right areas. You just have some guys that feel a little bit snake bit right now, like Lecky. Multiple rebound opportunities that come to his stick, and a couple of them I don't even think he gets a shot on net on. It's been fine because the Avs have gotten such good play out of their top 6 as a whole lately that Lekkonen's lack of production as of late has kind of faded into the background, but the Avs really need him to step it up a little bit here.
Yeah, and I think, was it yesterday on the show we were talking about, or was it pregame, about sometimes it's a little too easy for the Avalanche. So
Might
maybe
have been pregame,
maybe it's a little bit about, a little bit of humble pie tonight. Right?
Sure.
Like tasting a little bit of humble pie. Hey, we're not, we've been awesome. Everybody's telling us we're wagging, and we've been, like top of the league. Everybody since the trade deadline is saying us that we're wagging, and and then it shows you tonight that you're not on top of your game, and you're not the hardest working team, and you're not executing, and then you give a couple freebies. Whoops, you lose to a team that I don't want to hear. St. Louis are not that good. No, they are the best team in the NHL the last 10 games. So there's a reason you saw it tonight. Like the Avalanche, there's a reason they've been eating teams up, just like the Blues did tonight, meaning like you find a way to win. But maybe this is good. You want a little bit of adversity. It's been a little bit too easy, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying you want to lose games. I'm saying that it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a humble pie in your face.
You definitely don't want to lose games, but look, and no excuses, right? At the end of the day, the reffing, your execution, the quality of the ice, you can come up with a million excuses, but championship teams, there are no excuses. They did not find a way to win tonight.
That's it.
Leave it to Dallas to complain about bad reffing. Leave it to everybody else. The pretenders can complain.
Yep.
And Avs just didn't get it done. At the end of the day, Avs just didn't get it done. I don't think it has to be a more complicated than that internally for Colorado. Me, as someone who watches, me as a fan, I'm going to be upset about the Avs not getting protected by the NHL.
Oh, yeah, that has nothing to do with the outcome of the game.
Right, exactly. But
we'll never, on this show, we'll never blame referee. You know that.
No.
We never have.
For the result of the game, never.
No, that's on you. You got to be able to overcome bad calls by refs. You got to be able to overcome things. So what we're just talking about, what Rudo's talking about is protecting the players, which is the Avalanche players, which I agree with them.
There's a track record of them not protecting the players so at this point. Okay, honestly, dating all the way back to the Matt Calvert situation against Vancouver years ago.
No, but my point was that the second Rudo's comment was more, you make the wrong call on MacKinnon. It happens quick, I get that. But then you cannot blow the call on Charlie there, Lindgren, because what are you watching? That is a roughing penalty, an elbowing penalty, a punching penalty, what do you call that when you take too many charging penalty? I was guilty of many of those. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not I'm not. I know what the kid from St. Louis was doing. He was excited, and he didn't control his emotions there. That should have cost him. Now, with the Avalanche scored on their power play, I don't know.
Who knows?
They only had one power play tonight, right? And then didn't
They only had
capitalize,
one.
and it was like, whatever.
Yeah, and again, that's on the Avs to not finish on their opportunity.
That's
100%.
The Blues did.
Yeah. You look through the rest of the Avs lineup. Well, actually, we'll get to that in a minute. We do have to pay a few bills here before we jump into that conversation, as we are brought to you by the fantastic folks over at Monarch Money. Make sure you jump in with Monarch Money today. Make sure you're taking care of your finances. You don't want to accidentally pull a Vegas and try to trade an asset that has a no trade clause, all right? Monarch Money will make sure you know everything about your finances, whether it's your investments, whether it's your portfolio, whether it's just your savings. They've got it all. They even track all of your spending. You can figure out areas where you're spending more or spending less and help balance what you need to do. Finances are one of the most confusing things out there to do when you are adulting, and Monarch makes that easier. It's a financial command center that has everything available to you, and it's been named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. So you know they're the real deal. Take your spending, savings, and investments to the next level. Do it effortlessly with Monarch Money today so you can focus on what matters. Go get with Monarch Money today and use the DNVR code at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off of your first year. Get control over your finances. Again, that's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code protecting you. Make sure you're protecting yourself. Head on over to uchealth.org to find out more. Live extraordinary with UC Health, whether it's mental health, physical health, sleep health, skin health, bone health, hair health. I don't know. That's all I got. Whatever healths you got, UC Health has you covered. Again, live like there's a tomorrow over at uchealth.org. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Going through the lineup tonight, E. I didn't have any problem with Blackwood tonight, to be honest with you. Second goal does slip under his 5-hole a little bit, but we'll get in. Do you just want to have the conversation about this second goal? Because I know you're more focused on the turnover, but the guy in front, the guy playing F3, who ultimately doesn't tie up the stick for the rebound opportunity, is also Marty Natchez.
Yeah, it's a tough shift there for Marty. Hey, listen, I'm gonna give it to him a little bit here, okay? And I love him, Marty Party. I do love him. He is a huge part of the Avalanche. But there's a reason that people nitpick his game in the playoffs, and this is what you see tonight in that second goal. That's an opportunity. And you're going to say, Eric, you always say there's always mistakes before a goal. Absolutely. And you know what? He's the culprit on that second goal. He's the one that makes that dipsy doodle in the center ice there at the blue line, right? A little turnover. It's an easy thing to do. You see Crosby do it all the time. Use your body, protect the puck, go around. You don't need to try to backhand it between the legs of the guy there. And if you do that, it better work. Because if it doesn't work, that is a gimme, that is a freebie, that is a silver platter that we talk about all the time. And what do? St. Louis, there's a reason they've won 10 games in a row. There's a reason they're in a playoff spot. They make you pay right there. Because on playoffs, when you make plays like that, they can kill you. So tonight, it killed the Avalanche. Because that turnover goes back in the zone, and then you're right, and then next thing you know, it was a useless turnover, and then the puck's in your net because even Marty loses body position on Buchnevich, and then Buchnevich, give him credit. It's called hard work. Yeah. He gets there. The McKenzie makes the save, and then Buchnevich is by himself, puts the rebound in the goal. But those are plays that they're careless plays, and you can't do that. And then you can be about about winning. You can be championship mentality. Those are the plays you try to avoid in the playoffs. You're going to say, Eric, are you nuts? Like, this is I am. I'm being honest, but it's hard to win. It's hard. There's only one team that wins at the end of the year, not two, like one. They're usually the ones that don't commit those types of things. And if the other team absolutely all battles you and all, sure, give them credit on at the end. But what originated like 20 seconds, 15 seconds before the goal, it's a useless play that doesn't need to happen. And championship mentality, championship detailed teams don't make those mistakes. That was a mistake there. And Marty knows it. Just watch the replay. You can tell he takes the puck out of that. He knows it.
Yep.
And you know what? Go back if you're bored and if you're, hockey nuts like us. You know what I mean? Like, you can go and watch. He did it a couple times last game, got away with it. It didn't cost him. They were up by a goal or two. I'm trying to remember what the score was. And he knew.
Yeah.
Just watch his body language. And then he was told. And again, tomorrow, I'm sure Bednar, you don't need to, they're going to address it. And it's like, those are no-nos. We don't do those because they're needless. Whatever, if that's a word. They don't need to happen. They don't need to happen, those plays.
Correct.
And again, I'm nitpicking because that's the play of the game. Do I like Marty Natchez? I love him.
The game-winning goal comes 20 seconds later.
Exactly. I love Marty Natchez. Marty will be the first one to tell you. And again, don't worry, in the coach's office, like, he'll be shown that. And again, he knows. But you can't have that in playoffs because you're playing with fire, and there's a fine line between winning and losing. And you saw it tonight, a playoff-type atmosphere game. That's a big play in the game.
Look, I just put a review out of last game where I praised Natchez a ton.
He's the best. He's
and
awesome.
all of that is still true. Natchez is still a great player, and he's going to continue to be a great player for the Avs. But as Eric said, he's got to cut this part of his game out. This is the part where you have to stop doing that.
Listen, Rudo and I were just talking about this. This is not like, as a D, you misread the guy in front of the net. You got all battle pucks in your net. It's a misread. Oh my God, I read it wrong. Miscommunication. That is just something that is easily fixed. It's very easily fixed. You just don't do it. You don't go like this and try to go in between the legs. You don't. You use your body. He's fast. He's so fast. Nobody can take the puck away from him. Protect the puck. Crosby. And Google. Or just watch Crosby play. He does it. He goes around. Use your arm. Go around. There's no need for that little flick there.
And to your point, if this was a one-off, you'd go, okay, that was stupid, Marty. Fine. Don't do it again. Yeah. But you talked about him getting away with it a couple times. You go back a couple more games. He's the guy who has the terrible backhand turnover in the middle of his own zone.
Yes.
You need to have a conversation there about, look, I don't know what you did in Carolina, but this stuff is not going to fly here.
Playoff games are won at the blue lines. Very simple. Very simple. They're won and they're lost at the blue lines.
Yep.
And that was, again, I don't have the replay in front of me. I don't remember where it was, but it was right around the blue line, coming out of the zone.
Just past the blue line.
Exactly.
Into the neutral zone, yep.
And again, blue line turnovers, BLTs. I love to eat. We don't like BLTs on the ice. Those are no good.
Two different things.
I still love Marty Natchez. That is not, don't worry. Coach Bednar loves Marty Natchez too. It's just, we're all human. We all make mistakes tonight, and that's what we're doing. This is a post-game show on what happened tonight. That's a big play in the game. It's the game-winning goal. And you got to give credit to the St. Louis Blues. You got to give credit because they outworked the Avalanche right there in that play afterwards. Body position, rebound, put everything in. But it's a useless play that doesn't need to happen. And you can easily fix that in your game. It's an easily fix. You just can't do it.
Yep. And
that's it.
It's unfortunate because the Avs did this to themselves in the third period in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You felt like they were building a pretty good game in the first two periods. They just hadn't finished very well.
Yep.
Through the first two periods, the Avs out-high-dangered St. Louis 7-3 at 5-on-5. Mm. They were winning the 5-on-5 battle 1-0. The only goal they gave up came on that power play. And the Avs were realistically in control of the game, even if the score was tied. You felt pretty good about the way they played. And then they really did not play that well as a unit for most of that third period. And some of that is the penalties. But sure, the MacKinnon penalty was stupid. Not a real one, made up. Sam Malinsky, high stick. That's a high stick. That gets called every time in every league in the world. That's doing it to yourself.
Yep.
That's hurting yourself on that front. You give up the goal and you take another penalty shortly after. Yes, I know the Avs didn't go the calls the Avs way on the other side.
Yeah.
But you want a guaranteed way to tire out your legs, to mess up your chemistry, to throw everything off? Take 3 penalties in a span of 8 minutes. You got to be a little bit more disciplined if you're Colorado on that front.
And again, Jimmy's a smart guy, smart coach. And I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if Jack and Helmy, was it Bolduc or is it 76, 79, whoever that hit Linger in there. Don't worry, he's going to be called in too by his coach and go, hey, listen, I love...
You got away with one, buddy.
You got away with it. You know what I mean? You got to be able to control your nerves, not your nerves, but your passion, your energy. And again, I'd rather tell that to a player than, buddy, you got to wake up a little bit and, get involved in the game, right? We don't want... Again, I'm not giving it to the Blues player. I would have done the same thing. But it's still a penalty. You know what I mean? So he got away with it, and I think he would have, he's going to be told by Jimmy, hey, I love your aggressiveness and everything, but somewhere, somehow, you got to be able to control that. You got away with it. Where the Avalanche, unfortunately, it was a puck in the stands. It was a high stick, and then it was that,
It was Bolduc, for the record.
It was a bull. Okay, yeah. Again, he's got the game winner. He's excited, right? I get it. Hey, listen, I totally get it, but it's a penalty. But again, we talk about what's the expression? Better to tame down a lion than to whatever.
I
Push
don't
a
know
donkey
this
or whatever.
expression. I have
God,
no
I always
idea
try
what
to
this
break it up.
My favorite thing is when E tries to remember an expression that you or me just do
That's because
not
I
have
listen
no
to French
idea.
or
Yeah,
English.
they're French expressions.
Yeah,
They're
so
not
that's why-
English
And
expressions.
sometimes they don't make sense in English, you know what I mean? So I'm like, is that one of them? My brain's mixed up, you know what I mean? I don't have that many college credits. Rudo told me.
Me neither, buddy. Me neither.
I get out.
Smarter
Anyway.
dudes than us.
But I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the St. Louis Blues' game tonight. I love their game. Are you kidding me? I love them.
That's a team that's getting by right now on raw hard work.
Yeah, and I didn't mind the Avs game either. That's not what I'm saying. But, again, it's a fine line, and they took advantage of what was given to them.
Just to give the St. Louis Blues a little bit more credit.
Yeah.
The Avs attempted 59 shots tonight. That's 59 Corsi events. Fenwick events were just 36. St. Louis blocked 23 shots tonight.
Selling out.
That is selling out. They were committed on the defensive side of the puck. It's just good hard work. And you know what? I think this is... Obviously, you never want the Avs to lose. But, E, you were talking about this on the watch-along. You talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. You can take this as a good thing for Colorado. Not the loss, but guess what? Everybody plays like that in the playoffs. Everything is supposed to be hard. Every inch is hard to gain in the playoffs. The Avs ran into a little bit of a test of it. And again, I don't think they played that bad for the first two periods. But, maybe you get a little bit reminded of that lesson of, guess what? When you miss on those opportunities, you only get so many. You got to work hard to earn your chances, and you better capitalize.
But I'm gonna use the line right here. Some dude I respect a lot, the way he thinks about the game, and it's my friend Rudo right next to me. He always says, you come back and you play that game Monday against Calgary, it doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. No, but you're right, because that's playoffs, right?
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say about it. It's been smooth sailing. I love it. But now, okay, you had a little bit of a setback. If you don't think that's a setback, you're lying to yourself. That is a setback. You were playing the hottest team in the NHL besides you, and you lost at home by committing a couple gifts, right? That's a setback. You can't be afraid of words. It doesn't mean you had a bad game and you were awful and you were terrible and the referees blew the game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the opposition was better than you tonight. They were. And they were. And the fine line, they made you pay. Now, tomorrow is another day. And you breathe, whatever you do, practice, don't practice, have meeting. Then you come back, rejuvenize Monday. And what do we do in playoffs? What do we not do in playoffs? We don't lose 2 in a row.
Yep.
Especially at home. So I don't care. It's a different jersey with orange and red and whatever it is than tonight. But it's you in your mind, it's the same team, and you got to respond. You got punched in the face tonight, then you respond Monday, and that's how you get back and you get momentum back with your game.
By the way, the Avs have not lost 2 in a row for over a month.
That's why they're doing well.
Keep that streak going on that.
That's
front,
right.
For sure. You look at the rest of the Avs lineup. I kind of talked. It felt like Cale Makar was a little bit off tonight. The rest of the defense, I didn't really have a big problem with tonight. Thought the Avs defense played reasonably well, other than obviously the one horrible turnover from Natchez. Your PK did a good job on the last 3 penalty kills. Yeah, you get scored on that first one.
But the first one we talked about it on the thing, right? I mean, the mechanically it was perfect.
Yep.
The diamond was perfect. They executed. Guy makes a sick pass
Made
across.
a play.
Parker can't, and then the guy, Balduc, he gives a quick shot, goes right through Logan. That's in the right spot. It doesn't hit him. What do you want me to tell you? And then it's tough save for McKenzie. He can't see it, So
decent hockey teams make plays.
That's it.
That's
And
why you
when
don't take penalties by throwing pucks out of the
You win
ring.
10 in a row because you execute. That was an execution perfectly right there. You can't fault the PK there. It is what it is. It was fine.
Yep. There's just not a lot of things I'm upset with in tonight's game.
No,
from
just the
Avs.
Zebras.
No, I'm definitely upset at the Zebras. First period easily could have been a 3-1 game.
Not for the loss,
Avs.
but for protection.
Second period, the Avs easily could have scored a couple of times. They didn't, and I do think the third is a little bit frustrating. Them not finding that push earlier than the last 2 minutes than with the goalie pulled. I would have liked that pressure to come a little bit more aggressively for them. I think that's a fair argument, but you lost a close game to a team that's playing really well right now. Yep. You've won a bunch in a row. And maybe you learn some valuable lessons tonight, whether it's that
they will.
The team as a whole or as an individual for someone like Natchez, both.
They will.
So you've got both sides of it there. We do need to pay a few more bills. Let's get in on that. Make sure, we can keep doing this and have lives and all that. Usually good. As we are presented by Bet365 today. You can go in there, you can bet on whatever you feel like, and you can make yourself some money. When you sign up with code DNVR365, you put $10 in, bet $5 on anything, you get $150 in bonus bets to mess around with too. So that's just free money to go bet. Under hit, I got that right at least. Picked something right tonight. I'll take the under hit if nothing else. We'll take that one. You can bet on the Avs right now. Bet on any NHL team. If they go up by 3 goals or more, you get an instant payout. They don't even have to win. If you pick them to win and they're up by 3 goals, you get paid. It's that easy with Bet365. Tons of other offers and boosted bets too. Go check them out. And of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And once you got a little bit of winnings out of Bet365, it's time to pick up the official craft beer of DNVR, and that is Breckenridge Brewery. Jump in with them. They've got a flavor for everyone, literally dozens of beer flavors. If you like any kind of beer, they have one for you. They have rotating seasonals. They have staples like the Avalanche or the Broncos country, the Mile High. I don't know. I forget the name of the Nuggets one. They've got a Nuggets one too. They've got, is that what it is? I forget. They've got IPAs. They've got Kolsch's. They've got sours. They've got wheats. I could go on. There's a beer for everyone, I'm telling you. You can get them anywhere in the United States. Use the Breck Beer Locator online at breckbrew.com to find them at a local liquor store near you, or come on down to the DNVR bar. During Avs games, you get $2 off any Avalanche Amber Ale. So go check that out. And support the local businesses. They are, kind of in Breckenridge. That's why they're called Breckenridge Brewery. So jump in with them. Go check out Breck Brew today. We appreciate y'all for doing that. Let's go. Let's get into the third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, post-game, whatever you want to call it. Chat was saying Bednar maybe complained a little bit about the refs here, so let's see what Coach had to say about this one for the Avs.
Go ahead.
Coach, we were talking to Devon. He said that despite there not being a lot of room out there, that you thought there were good things you guys did on the defensive side, that you maybe did enough. Well, from your perspective, what did you see unfolding out?
Yeah, I didn't love our first period, the checking side of it. I thought we were dangerous offensively. I think we had 7 or 8 chances in the first period and some real good quality. But I thought we needed to get more engaged on the defensive side of things and on our breakouts, like play with a little bit more authority, a little bit more intensity. And then after that, I liked their game. Didn't like the penalties we took in the third period, obviously, when you're trying to come back in a game. And then we made a couple big mistakes, like penalty kill. That's a mistake on their first goal. Later on in the third period, we gave up a couple really good looks from the slot and the penalty kill where we were kind of caught in between and no one was talking. Obviously, the goal at the end, Marty messes up in the neutral zone and then the D zone. So I do think that there's some things that we can clear up there, but overall, good dangerous offensive team right now. And I thought we did a good job on the rush and getting back above it, played with a good conscience, played way harder in the second and third than we did in the first. We just got to capitalize on a few chances. I think that third period, just looked back quickly on that shift, 4.5 minutes to go. We get, I think it's 4 really good looks in there, and we didn't get one of them on net. So it's just one of those days where I didn't think we shot well. But some of our decision making was good, and we were competitive, and we were going to the net. They'd been doing a nice job around the front of their net, but when you get a couple of those looks, got to put them in, and we hit the post a couple times too. So overall, I think pretty good effort, pretty good game.
Is it safe to define Mackenzie Blackwood as kind of a calming presence
back there, you guys, obviously they had that late push, they get that third penalty kill, and he still makes that strong save, and it just kind of felt like he was still.
Yeah, he's locked in. I mean, we have a chance to win a hockey game. I expect all of our guys to be locked in at 2-1, you know, and the entire game. So, but he's certainly a guy that can bail you out when you make some mistakes. Like that penalty kill, we make 2 big mistakes, and he comes up big on both of those. Yeah, we just needed to keep playing, you know. I think I would have loved a penalty call on the Lindgren hit, roughing. Like, would give our power play 2 minutes to get out there, still a few minutes to go, and then 6-on-5. I like our chances, especially after killing 3 in a row. But we didn't get the call, so you gotta keep battling through it. I think, you know, that flips back and forth on a nightly basis. Sometimes they get they get you, and sometimes you're gonna earn some power plays. I thought we did a little bit more to try and at least get that call, but yeah, besides that, I mean, I can't fault the guys' effort tonight, that's for sure. So we're playing hard, we're playing well. Sometimes you just don't put the puck in the net.
Marty's a very creative player, and a lot of times he'll dance around those guys in the neutral zone. In a tight game like that, are you still encouraging that creativity? Or?
Yeah, I think he's got to be smart, time, and score. And that wasn't the worst part about it. Like the turnover, we get back, we're 3-on-3, but he lost his man coming to the net that scores on that. So, I mean, if you're going to turn it over there, you got to dig in on the defensive side of it, right? And you can't let him go to the net and get a free rebound. That's what happened.
It doesn't seem like there have been a lot of games, at least in the last 2 years, where the ice has been maybe an issue, but given you have such a talented, skilled team, on a day like today where it did seem like guys were falling, pucks bouncing, is there any sort of adjustment that you make during the course of that game, or do you just sort of...
No, I think you got to keep playing your game. And I don't know if the ice was bad or not. Like, that's a better question for the players, you know. But you got to play in all types of environments. Both teams are playing on the same ice sheet. I thought our execution was pretty good tonight, you know. It's a tough checking game for sure. That's what the playoff games are going to be like, you know. And it's a fine margin for error. So if you're not putting the puck in the net, and even if you're creating chances, you got to make sure that your checking game is tight. And like I said, I didn't love ours in the first, but I really liked it as the game went on. So except for the one go-ahead goal, right? So like we have to be even sharper than we were tonight in order to win against really good teams come playoff time.
The conditions are the conditions, but is the ice weird when it goes basketball, hockey in this building?
I don't think that necessary. Like that certainly has an effect, but our building and ice crew's done a nice job of getting the sheet ready for us. Like they cool off the building, they go to work on it, they work on it all day as soon as it gets changed over. I would say like the ice hasn't been the best sheet we played on here recently, but I think, you know, with all the changeover, lots of buildings have that, and once a building gets cooled off, the ice gets better. But again, I don't know what it was like here tonight. You know, it didn't look that bad to me, but maybe it was.
Coach, when you have that kind of situation with that non-call on Lindgren, how much does that change the momentum for your team to try and like just keep?
Well, the biggest thing that changed momentum is we took 3 penalties, and we could have like one's undisciplined penalty, Ross, right? Mac eases up on the back check, guy goes by him instead of staying in front of him. I didn't love that call because it's stick on stick. I think he's got an argument there. Sam, inadvertent high stick, it's a penalty. The other one we put over the glass, right? But get 3 in the third period when you're trying to come back in a hockey game, that's what's going to kill the momentum. It's just that simple.
Just from your perspective, that hit on Ryan Lindgren, you would like to see a call there?
Yeah, I think it's roughing. He shoulder him as hard as you want. You could blow him up and put him in the next week. I'm fine with it. But I mean, if you're going to take your hand and hit him in the head and knock his helmet off, it's a penalty.
Okay. Thanks.
I mean, call it whatever you want. It's definitely a missed call. If you can't admit that that's a missed call, we're just not having a conversation, right? Like,
but it's not even a missed call. It's like there's no way you didn't see it. You decided not to call it. You know what I mean? It's a judgment call. Like he's like, that's not a penalty. It didn't happen too quick. He's the puck carrier. It's the only thing you can watch at neutral zone. You decided not to call it. You're like, You probably didn't like guys yelling at you from maybe MacKinnon yelling at him. I'm not blaming guys, I'm saying. So he's like, oh, you got to have thick skin a little bit. You know what I mean? Like when you're, You made the wrong call on MacKinnon. It's the wrong call. Camera shows it. It's the wrong call. Guy trips himself.
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit thicker skin there. And then if you got mad and that, again, they get addressed. I know you don't want to hear, but they get addressed in their game. Tonight, he's got a failure for a game by his supervisor. I'm telling you right now, that is, it's a bad third period by the officials.
Yep.
It's a bad third period. So.
Is what it is.
Yep.
You didn't get enough done for the Avs, but, they did score a goal. There are some positive things to talk about in this game. Nathan MacKinnon does end up being your goal scorer.
Streak's alive.
This is something, I'm just saying, take a look at where the last handful of Nathan MacKinnon goals have come from. Pizza Hut, buddy.
Yeah.
Dotson in. That is where Nathan MacKinnon is going, and he's getting rewarded. And Nathan MacKinnon's an unbelievable player. He can produce points from anywhere on the ice. But that's the type of stuff to me that the signal is going off in my head that's saying, this is the Avs ramping up to the playoffs. Nathan MacKinnon's going to the dirty areas. Nathan MacKinnon's scoring on rebounds and deflected pucks. Those are the type of things that it's like, as you like to say, E, your top guys are checking that box when it comes to a little bit of the greasiness.
They're going to have to produce, right? Top guys, they're going to have to produce with beautiful rush plays. They're going to have to produce with power plays, but you got to muck it up and produce on the greasy areas. And not saying like he's not doing it. I'm saying that like Ross when he went on that 15-gamer where he couldn't get an assist. I don't think Lecky's going to go much longer. He's doing the right thing. He's not going in. You know what I mean? So maybe you got to simplify it a little bit more now and just really just dig deep and do he still touches a lot of parts of the game. I'm saying mucking it up and getting some greasy goals there from the front of the net like Mac did there. Yep. And again, Lecky's right there working. There's a reason why Mac scored that one because Lecky's doing the work there in front of the net. But we're talking about Lecky himself producing, He's going on, what we say, 9 or whatever.
I think it's 8 games without a goal and only like 1 point or something like that in that stretch.
Yeah, it's a little tough stretch for him producing-wise, but he still does a lot more things. But not worried about him. He's clutch, and he'll be ready to go. He'll be back.
Just to balance that point, Lecky, the Avs' best possession player in this game. It's not like he played a bad game.
Exactly.
The finishing just hasn't quite been there for him like it was at the start of the year. And
that's why he's not a 30-goal scorer.
Right. We knew he wasn't going to shoot 23% the entire season. No. But they do need him to get it back on the train a little bit here.
What did Miles get ice time-wise?
Let's take a look. We can see. I imagine it's a little bit less since the Avs trailed for the last 10 minutes of the game. But the ice time breakdown, at least for the forwards, MacKinnon had 22, Lehkonen 21, Druin 21, Nichushkin 20. So 4 guys over 20 minutes. Pretty spread out, though. You had 4 guys under 10 minutes, with Wood being the bottom guy at 7:45.
Yeah.
You might see Vesey on Monday. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, that's fair. He had a couple good shifts. He went in there, got hard on the forecheck.
Tonight, but
again, I think he dug himself a hole, and it comes down to trust factor and that kind of stuff and level of engagement.
If Bednar feels like he needs to get VC in for a game, which very clearly this year Bednar has done a significant amount of rotating with those bottom end guys, both on the forward side and on the defense. He doesn't like to keep anybody scratched too long. I don't think you're taking anybody else out to put VC in. I'll put it to you that way.
I'm going to talk about my guy here. He's injured. He's day to day, but if you look at that game tonight, the Cat, I don't think Cat would have played 7.
No, he probably would have played more than 7.
Yeah.
Probably true.
That's my point. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I love the Cat. I love the fact that Jared trusts him, and it's well earned. It's a little joke if you guys haven't.
Yep.
The Cat.
And just to go over some more of the underlyings, the Avs really played pretty well mechanically in this game. It's hard to be too upset. Bednar even talked about it. Thought they worked hard. Thought they played pretty well. You have pretty darn good possession numbers from your top 2 lines. It's hard to be mad with them. Even your third line guys were solid. Your fourth line struggled with possession a little bit. I think that's fair. At 5-on-5, you were even. You went one goal each at 5-on-5. Special teams is where you came up a little bit short, and we've discussed the penalty differential and all of that. That's out of your hands. Yep. So mechanically, I don't think as a team you're doing a whole lot of, wow, there's a lot to fix here. You're just saying, hey, we played pretty decent hockey except for we didn't capitalize. I know I've said that like 4 times on the show, but
That's true.
that's just kind of what it boils down to in a game like this. So
It's just true.
when you look through the rest of this lineup, I am a little bit curious. I want to get your thoughts on the defenseman here. Maybe a step back of a game for Malinsky a little bit. He had a couple of tough shifts in this one. Not saying it's his fault. We know Natchez is probably the primary guy you're looking at on that second goal, but he is out on the ice for that goal.
Yeah.
The Avs do get pretty scrambly in their own zone, maybe lose some coverages on what ends up being the game-winning goal.
I like where Sam's game's at. I like the way he's responded after an up-and-down year, kind of, but he's been awesome since the trade deadline. I mean, I got to give him his props, even though his Cornell Big Red lost to the BU Terriers tonight. Not a big deal. Charlie Coyle beat Sam Malinsky tonight. Not a big deal. Go Terriers. Go Pioneers, too. Come on. You got to knock off BC because you hate BC. Come on. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is Sam's game there. The only thing with Sam, though, you're going to say I'm old school and I'm stupid with my takes, but I like Sam when Sam plays with an edge. When he brings that heart rate up and he plays that with that intensity, you know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing to achieve with a young player, even though he's not 18. I'm talking about with not that much experience in the national. We all know that tonight, it amped up a little bit, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because the Blues are playing playoff hockey and it's been 2 months. But we all know that come first playoff game, the puck drops, it's just a different level. And Sam, for him to have success, I want him to get to that extra little oomph up top there. You know what I mean? And that's what I think he's missing a little bit. And again, he's been fantastic. So I'm nitpicking right now. And he'll be a big part of the Avalanche here in the playoffs. But I do believe once he gets that, it's going to become more natural for him to get more good performances after good performances after good performance and get that consistency.
And I will give him a little bit of credit tonight. He was one of a handful of guys that stood out because, sure, maybe he doesn't quite have that physical edge to his game defensively, but multiple breakouts tonight. Sam Malinsky looks up. He sees a body coming at him.
Yep.
Takes the hit, makes the play.
Absolutely.
That's playoff hockey. You got to be willing to give up the body to make the right play sometimes.
And again, I don't want him to be Josh Manson. You know what I mean? Like that's
right.
not what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
different
You got to be who you
players.
are. But there's a way, and it's not just Sam. It's like it's Marty. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you got to bring up your pace up. You know what I mean? Like every shift, because every shift matters. You know what I mean? And the guys are there. They're going to be there tonight. It's a little bit of a setback, if you want to call that. But they'll be ready to go Monday. I got faith in this team.
Same.
I do believe in the leadership. I believe in everything that they have. And
do not overthink this game, for sure.
no, and give credit to Binnington, too. He was good. I mean, I don't care.
He made the saves he needed to make.
We don't like him. We like him. Whatever it is. He was glad it was over.
Pretty lucky.
He got lucky. You got to be lucky to be good.
Multiple posts, including ones that hit off his butt and still don't go in the net. But
he was looking up at the sky at the end of the game. He was kind of like, "Ooh, okay, I need a shower. Thank God it's over." Because it was a big push at the end for the Avs, obviously, the last 2 minutes.
Yep. Was one goal better than the guy across from him.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. Is what it is. I don't know. I don't know that there's a ton beyond this to dig into in this game. I don't think you really need to get down to a granular level on most of the guys that played tonight. I do think it's interesting, though, St. Louis won't catch the Avs, just to be clear. That's just not going to happen.
No.
Barring, the Avs would have to lose out or something.
Yeah.
But it is getting interesting that the Avs, if scores help. Let me just check the score, actually, because Minnesota was losing earlier.
It's funny while you're looking.
They're still losing.
That's what I mean. But it's funny while you're looking, but you lose the game and oh God, you start looking behind. Are we safe? Are we, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Well, the Avs are safe either way, but if Minnesota also loses tonight, it becomes, you're not mathematically, but it would be pretty much impossible for Minnesota to catch the Avs with a loss tonight.
St. Louis might catch Minnesota.
Right. Minnesota's looking more at St. Louis after tonight. That's what the point I was getting to.
I'm very impressed by the Blues. I hate to say it, but I'm very impressed by them.
It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue with a team that's won that many games in a row right now. They're doing a lot of things right.
There's a lot of belief in that room. A lot of belief.
Thankfully, there's no universe where the Avs would have to play them in round one. So you don't have to test that theory, although I would pick the Avs in that series.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of the
Picking
result
the Avs
tonight.
against anybody, but yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that When you're in this portion of the schedule, as the Avs do have, obviously, the game Monday, but then they have a back-to-back on the road coming up after that.
Yeah.
And I've asked this a couple of times, but we've seen Kitty be out of the lineup day to day. We saw LOC get a day off not too long ago.
Nope.
We've seen a couple of guys pop in and out of the lineup. Are we resting guys? Are there guys getting rested come this back-to-back?
Nah. Go play.
No, you don't. You even on the Sega Baba, you think you're just full send?
Oh yeah, full set. I mean, or get guys in like he's been doing, but I'm not going to say like, oh, McCarr or MacKinnon.
I'm asking, is it
there are breaks coming?
Are you getting guys in because really you're getting guys out?
A little bit of both, right? I mean, I'd put Jimmy in. I'm going to boot my campaign for Jimmy for Monday.
There we go.
I need a poster. Tiff, can we get a Jimmy for Monday? That, and when you sneeze, what do I say? Take that back.
Take that back.
Something like that. I'm supposed to say God bless you.
Put that
whatever,
back.
But I'm like, put that back. I don't know. It came out. Jimmy for Monday. We need a thumbnail.
Old
Jimmy
Monday
for Monday.
Jim, they call him.
Monday Jim. Big game. What is it? Big game Sunday? Big game Monday Jim. There you go.
Big game Monday.
Put Jimmy in there Monday. Let's
Big
go.
game Jimbo.
Put Jimbo in Monday.
I've seen chat talking about it, and while I do think I to some extent agree with you, potentially seeing someone like an Ivan or a Prishchapov drawn to the lineup over maybe like a Miles Wood or something, not going to happen at this point.
No, Jimmy Vesey's there.
You have even without Vesey, post-trade deadline, you have a limited number of call-ups you can use.
Exactly.
So you can't just willy-nilly call guys up and down anymore in this part of the year. So that will not be happening.
No.
That's all. Just wanted to mention that. When you look at a game like this one, you put it best. Weird stuff happened. It's a matinee. You didn't execute your best. Okay. If you go out and execute better on Monday, nobody cares. There is no problem over an extended period.
Okay, hey, listen, if you would have executed perfectly tonight, you would have won the game. I mean, let's just put it that way. They scored one goal. So, I mean, the Avalanche,
I think if you would have executed 80%, 85%, you probably would have won.
So you were a little bit
game.
off. Like the effort, like a lot of stuff. That's not what we're saying, but, again, the other team was better than you. That's it, and that's the difference. And then you want to make sure that you're the better team Monday, and that you're the better team that executes. You're the better team that nails all the details. You're the better team that the goalie's better than the other goalie, right? I mean, all that stuff. I'm not blaming McKenzie, so we don't get that. McKenzie was great tonight, did what he had to do. It was a 1-1 game till they scored at the end of the game on the guy by himself.
Not
2-1.
that, I'm sure you already knew this, but you won't be shocked that no practice tomorrow.
Not shocked. But they'll have a meeting and whatever.
They might not have a meeting.
They might not. They might just be Monday night game.
It's the charity
Monday
brunch.
morning.
Charity brunch tomorrow.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Totally forgot that it was a charity brunch. So see you Monday morning at the rink, and then they're going to be ready to go.
Yep.
And that's
Exactly
always
that.
a great thing, by the way. The charity brunch is awesome. If you've never been, try to get next year. I'm sure it's too late now, but it's fun to see the guys.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's for the kids, and the kids are awesome. And I remember as a player, we loved it. And it's always a fun event. It's been going on for so many years now, and the kids are the star of the show, and it's fun. It's fun. And it's fun to see the parents. Their parents are there, and it's heartwarming, and, they get away from tough situations for a few hours, and it's kind of nice to. The Avalanche does great with that stuff.
I don't know this 100% for sure, but it does look like the Avs at least did get out of this game without anyone injured. Obviously, make sure Lindgren's all good with the hit to the head there, but he looked okay. Did not look like anyone even took any stingers or anything tonight. He does get hit in the head every single game. It does happen to him a lot, so he's probably used to it.
Elbows, it's all good.
But honestly, you might be able to call that a win. Avs healthy through this one. Hopefully they can stay healthy through the last 8 games and be ready to go for the playoffs.
You learn a couple hard lessons, and it's perfect. It's all good.
I mean, I don't even know if they were that hard of lessons,
but not
to be
lessons,
honest
but
with
like
you, but
a little something that you want to make sure.
A little reminder, yeah.
Let's make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep, for sure.
There's no need for that to happen.
I would think we have 1 super chat, maybe 2. I'm not sure. No, I thought we had 1, but maybe that was. All right. Well, Tiff's looking it up. We'll chill for a little bit. I'm curious on this one. Let's say you're Prater today. Your PK goes 1 for 4. You talked about you played really well on it, even the one that beats you.
Yeah.
What's the message in the locker room to your PK guys after a game like this one?
Keep doing the same thing.
Okay. There's no need to be perfect.
It's not like Parker's in the wrong spot and he doesn't try to make that puck goes through him. It does go through him. And then LOC's on the right spot. It's not like he gets out of the way and he flamingos. If we don't know what a flamingo is, right? You lift your leg up when you're scared of the puck. It goes through LOC, you know what I mean? And then it's a great play by the Bolduc. It's a great shot. McKenzie can't do anything. It's a bang play. It is what it is. I think as a BK, you can't get down. Other teams are going to execute. Other teams are going to make plays. That's the one that you just go and don't throw pucks in the stands.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not blaming Jack.
I think that's the correct take. Is don't take that penalty.
Don't take that penalty, and then
there are penalties that are worth taking. That's never one of them.
Yeah.
It's all good. Anyway, I just the Avs are what? It's 15-2-1 now in their or 14-2-1 now in their last 17, I think.
Ridiculous.
They're pretty fine.
They're all good. They're all good.
Just
nothing
to overthink on that one.
Yeah. And again, I mean, the second line dormant tonight in the set. They didn't get on the board, right? You know, so now you got like, all right, let's get going. They've been good, but you want to be good every night, right? And that's the part of you want to have a little bit of adversity so you can come back strong. You know what I mean? Like on the next game, and that's what the Avalanche have done. The Toronto game, what did they do? They come back and they play great, but they lost the game, and then they go in there. They score 5 goals in the first period in Ottawa the next night. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's how you come back from a loss. You know what I mean? So
it's also just been more consistent, right? When you look at the losses across the course of the season, the ones that have caused concern for the Avalanche are the ones where you feel like the Avs left a lot in the tank. They're better than what they showed out there. And are the Avs better than what they played tonight? Yes. But for the most part, they put the work in, and the St. Louis was better. Or St. Louis got a better bounce. Or whatever little detail didn't quite connect tonight. But you played in a way where most nights you're going to feel pretty good about the game.
There's nights that you feel bad. You feel like cheated. You feel dirty. I think the Avs feel decent about their game because it wasn't that bad, but I think they know that they weren't a better team, and they know that the couple plays in the game make them lose. It's a fine line, and it made them lose the match tonight. And at the end of the day, you get judged on wins and losses, right? And that's what it is, because in playoffs there's no cookies. In playoffs there's no like, oh yeah, we were good but we didn't win, you know what I mean? But you got to be able to control your emotions, and even though there's games that you do feel good about your game and you didn't win, you got to make sure that the next night there's no moral victories. You got to go and win. And that's why like Monday is a big test for the Avalanche, and you can't have any moral victories. You got to come back and say, I'm going and we're going to win.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
There's a balance there, right? I don't think you should be too upset about the loss.
You lose 1 every 10 games, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, but you also can't, like, if you're a team that expects to win and is built to win, you shouldn't be happy about like, you can't go into the locker room and say, well, you know, that we did our best and that was good enough tonight, boys. That's no. Especially this time of year. You got to go out and win.
No moral victories. The only victories are the W's on the board.
Easy enough.
That's it.
I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Super Chats got lost. That's fine. We'll live without them. We appreciate you if you sent one. Beyond that, I really don't know. I know you want to go into the playoffs feeling good. But again, if the Avs do enough in these last 8 games to hold down the 3 seed, fine. Results are really not that important to me at this point in the season. Playing the right way, doing the right things is important. I'm not going to look too hard at their win-loss record over the last 8 games of the season here.
No, I'm not. As long as you play the right way, as long as you feel good about your game, and as long as you feel ready to go to the dance, that's what matters.
Yep. Exactly
More often
right.
than not, they're going to win. I mean, that's just the way it is because they're a good team.
They are a good team, top to bottom. I truly believe post-deadline they might be the best team top to bottom in the NHL. So
I agree.
You did at least get the MacKinnon point to keep up with Kucherov, or Kucherov is keeping up with MacKinnon now, I guess.
And his home streak is alive, too.
I want him to win the Art Ross. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he does, if nothing else. But this is an Avalanche team in the right spot, even if they didn't win tonight. So I don't know. I don't have too much more to say, but we are going to head into overtime here. So make sure you jump on over to thednvr.com. The conversation will continue online if you're watching on television. We appreciate y'all. Come join the chat. We'll see you in a little bit. For everybody else, one final question I've got for you tonight. What's the highest level you've coached at?
Well, I mean, technically, it was assistant coach in the NHL for the Avs my first year out. Yes.
You counted as an assistant coach?
Well, yeah, it was. Not on the bench, but
skills coach.
No, video coach. But
you were video. That's right.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're on the ice for practice. I mean, you got the headset.
You're in the video room, so you're probably stewing over it more than anybody.
Oh, buddy.
But as a coach, how do you balance that emotional when Marty just turns over a puck, it all goes south? How do you balance that as a coach to not just blow up on him? What's the right approach from Jared Bednar in that conversation that he's got to go have?
Yeah, and it's a great question. Look no further than last week. I don't know the guy. I'm not bagging on him. Sheldon Keefe,
Yeah,
I'm just
clearly the wrong way to go
for
about
me.
it.
For me. You're asking me. I mean, I'm a player. I don't like that approach. Now, in the locker room, door closed, I got no problem. In front of the guys, you want to rip me a new one? I got no problem. It's life. You got to be a big boy, You made a mistake. I get it. But publicly to do it that way, I don't like that. Now, as a coach, you know he didn't like it. He does mention on this presser, but he's not but it's hard, you know what I mean? And I've seen it over the years, and I told you I wasn't good at this. In management, I come back and I stew over that for 48 hours, and it's like, buddy, you got to be able to let it go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would show it. You can go in your car, lose. But I'll tell you one thing. The best that I've ever seen was my old man, if I can tell, 10 seconds.
Go off. You got time.
He was unbelievable. Because he would be in a game like this, he wants to win every night. Then all of a sudden, you lose, and you're mad because you lost, or you hate the Blues, or whatever it is. And it's like you're stewing down the lobby, up downstairs, going towards the coach's room, and it's like, buddy, you are losing your crap. And it's like, and then he would just walk in the coach's room. Hey, all good, fellas. See you tomorrow. Brunch tomorrow. He'd grab his jacket, walk right out. And I'd be like this, how's he do that? And then walk out and then get back in his car. Never wanted to show. You know what I mean? Don't show anything that, you know what I mean? And then the line would have been to coaches tonight. If we lose one every 10 games, we're going to be Stanley Cup champs.
We're doing all right, yeah.
Do the math. We're going to win the Stanley Cup. If you lose one every 10, you're winning the cup.
Yep.
So, as much as coaches they'll stew on this one, it's tough because you just come right off the bench, and especially on an overtime play or whatever. Oh, man, is it tough. You got to be able to control your even keel, right? It's hard.
Yep.
Bednar's really good at it, but it doesn't mean that by himself in his car, he's not throwing a couple
he's
left
alone,
bombs.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's human. Absolutely.
All right. That's all I got. We are going to wrap this one up here. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We are off tomorrow, but we'll be back Monday for the game, so make sure you're tuning in then. And, of course, as always, go check all the post-game stuff. AJ does have the night off, but I've got a video studs and duds coming for you, and Justin will be writing the game story if you want to go read his stuff. So go check out that stuff. We appreciate y'all. That's it. This has been the DNVR Avalanche post-game show presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.